Well, James, we do. We have an unusual view of the largest of our animals out here in South Africa, the Ellies, that have come down to quench their thirst on a very warm afternoon. And so you can see from our Nest camera that is perched at water level that there are a few Ellies that have come to drink. And so it's a herd that's just arrived. They came very quickly because I'm sure they're quite hot. It's been a steamy afternoon and we're starting to push towards summer once again, and so the temperatures are going to go up, and that means that the Ellies need a lot of water in order to survive. You can see they're pushing and shoving each other, trying to get to the water itself, and you can see there's lots of kind of movement around there. And unfortunately, the biggest ones will get to drink first, and those with little babies. Now, they are moving a little bit to the left, so I'm going to just quickly swap cameras so we can see them better. There we go. There's the whole herd. Much better. Now we can see all of them, and they're all having a really good drink at this stage. So what they're doing is they're coming to basically, oh, look, we're going to get a trunk. Are you going to touch the camera? How cool is that? They're drinking right by the camera. That is so cool. Sometimes they're quite curious, so they might actually end up sniffing the camera, and we might get a little trunk all over the camera, which will make the lens dirty, but it'll be awesome nonetheless. This is absolutely spectacular. So like I was saying, the herd's going to come in because it's hot, there's very little water around, and so this is one of the freshest water sources that we get out here, and it means that these guys are going to come in and have a really good drink. Look, it's spraying water all over the top. This is amazing. Now, you would never get views like this if it wasn't for a camera that is placed right there, and the Ellie is literally drinking over the top of this camera. That is absolutely spectacular. Amazing. No, don't do that, internet. There we go, that's better. Sometimes it just slows down a little bit, but it will come back now. So Josh, in temperatures like this, an Ellie would really start to suffer within 24 hours. They'd be starting to really battle without getting water. It's very hot, and they unfortunately would be really battling. So 2 days and you'd have the elephant would be very weak and probably very grumpy, and from there its condition would just go down straight away. It's very much like us as people. We obviously need water regularly, and it's the same with the Ellies. Being big animals like this, they require huge amounts of water every day, and if they don't get that, well, they're going to decline very, very fast. But this is absolutely incredible. What a unique way to watch Ellies drinking out of the middle of Africa. It is seriously quite special to see them going at it like this. Now, I'm hoping they're going to have a bit of a swim. It's hot enough for swimming. So let's see. This one looks like it's going to do. Let's see. So, Daniel, you say this is a great sighting. Well, Daniel, it doesn't get any better than this. This is absolutely spectacular. You can see they are really relishing the water. So when elephants are not thirsty and they just want to cool down, then they'll just run in and they roll around and cause havoc and wet themselves. But these elephants are thirsty. They're taking big trunkfuls of water and they're drinking fast. You can see they're putting their trunk in, sucking up, spraying it into their mouth, and you'll notice that they spill quite a bit of water, and there's a reason for that. They are purposely trying to not drink that water that is in the curve of the trunk. So as they suck up, you see the trunk curves, and then they drop water out. Now, the reason they do that is because when they're sucking up water, so they're going to get bits of sediment. They're going to get things like sand particles and dust. And so there's a trunk coming over the top of our camera. Look at that. This is amazing. How cool. Like I said, it's just such a unique view. And so basically, as they bend the trunk, that heavier particles and sediments drops down into the curve of the trunk. And then as they finish drinking, they don't squirt that into their mouth, because otherwise they're going to be drinking a lot of sand. And so they prefer to then just kind of drop it down and make sure that they don't make too much of don't drink too much of that stuff. What you'll also notice with them, watch the tip of the trunk on this particular Ellie. Every now and then it will just put its trunk in and it will just do a little movement, almost like if you had to put your finger in water and just, if you're testing the temperature of a bath, that's probably the best way to put it. But he's doing that, or she's doing it, should I say, to break the surface tension. So there's surface tension that has got a lot of dust on it, and so they break the surface tension, get rid of all that dirty stuff on top, and then they can drink the nice clean water that's underneath. It's very cool to watch how intelligent elephants are and how amazing they are at providing themselves with clean water. Now, I'm pretty sure that one of them is going to swim. I'm hoping it's one of the young ones, and that starts, and then the adults might join in. And what they'll do is they end up starting to spray themselves on their ears and their body, and they sometimes will even lie down in this water. Now, they've done it a few times, and when they do, it's absolute pandemonium. So I'm hoping that they will do it again this afternoon, especially because the cameras are now working and set up in the perfect spot to catch it if they do this. But how amazing. It's such a special little view to have. There's very few places in the world where you can get to see Ellies from such a low angle and get an impression of how big they actually are. So, Pisces, Bobby, you're asking how many gallons they suck up in I suppose, in one trunkful. Well, it's about 8 liters, so I'm not even sure what that is in gallons, to be honest. I'll have to try and think about it and try and work it out and see if I can figure it out. But it's about 8 liters that they get in a single kind of trunkful, and they will sit and they'll drink in one sitting, can drink as much as much as 100 liters in a single kind of drinking session, but it's very seldom that they do. So, sorry, Faith. 8 liters is 2 gallons. There we go. So 2 gallons is how much they can suck up with one single trunkful, which is of an adult elephant. That is, obviously, smaller elephants means smaller volumes that are going up. But this is very cool. Now they're slowly edging. I can just see feet are slowly coming in. It's not a quick process yet because I think they're very thirsty, so they want to make sure that they drink first. So, Brent, you say you just love the blue sky. It is the most perfect day today. It is hot. It is warm. The sky is clear. There's a few little wispy kind of clouds on the western horizon, which are going to be spectacular for sunset a little bit later. We should get a really beautiful sunset later. But otherwise, it's just perfect conditions for a safari. So those people that are out and about today are going to be getting spoiled, really. They're going to get this deep blue winter sky, but the warm temperatures of summer, and hopefully lots and lots of animals. It seems as though things are already busy. We've had lions, we've had leopard, and now we've even got Ellies that are busy drinking. So it's just one thing after another already. Now look, they're starting to push each other around a little bit, and you'll see once they've had a drink and everybody's satisfied, then they'll start to actually sometimes wallow. And the reason why they don't do it to start with is because everybody needs to get nice water, and if they wallow inside here and they start splashing and throwing water all over the place, the water gets very muddy and then they can't drink. And so I think they're just making sure everybody's well hydrated first before they start. I saw that one threw some water over its head. What you'll also find is that they're going to pick up water and they're going to throw it underneath their tummies. And that's one place that they throw it, or behind their ears. That cools their body down much faster than if they have to throw water over the top of their body. So it's just underneath the ears there, where it flaps, where the thin skin is, and then underneath the tummy area where there's also some nice soft thin skin. That just all helps. Look at that. That one's exhaling as it's drinking. Wow. This is very cool. Now, I believe that there are more elephants coming, so I just want to quickly change our camera angle for 2 seconds. Let's have a look. Oh, there they come. They're going to come via this next camera, which I'm going to show you quickly. There they are. You see them coming on the left-hand side, so they'll slowly be coming, and then there's others that are going to be coming from the right-hand side. We should get complete sort of envelopment of elephants all over. Now, this is a female that I actually recognize, the one that's coming in from the far left. She's got a tusk that kind of skews out a little bit to the right, so you see her quite regularly in this area. But look at this, they're all together. How cool. What a special sighting. Blue skies, Ellies all over the place. This is very, very, very special. I know it's just Ellies drinking, and it happens regularly every day. In fact, Ellies drink around various pans and rivers. Look at this one. It's going in. Little babies coming in. This is a big herd. There's going to be lots of pushing and shoving around this waterhole. Unfortunately, there really isn't going to be enough space for absolutely everybody because they're all just coming in. Look at this, and look at how quickly they're moving in because they're so thirsty. They just want to drink and try and get as much water as possible. Look at the tiny little one. There comes the little one. Now this one's right over the top of the camera. I'm going to just quickly change to another camera because I think we might actually get them all on another one as well. Look at that, look. We've got its leg right up against the camera. This is amazing. Look at these shots. This is absolutely incredible. Now, you'll see that it does buffer a little bit every now and then, so I do apologize about that. It'll sort itself out. But, this is a camera in the middle of the African wilderness, and so sometimes there is a little bit of a slowdown. But, you're never going to get to see something like this in person. You would never be able to stand underneath elephants like this drinking. This is very, very special. So Conrad, our tech genius, is telling me the reason why it's actually buffering like that is because the elephant's bodies are so dense that it's blocking the Wi-Fi, and it's basically meaning that the camera can't talk to the signal base, and that's why we're getting this kind of buffering effect from time to time. Isn't that cool? That's pretty amazing. Now I'm going to change again to a different camera because the sun is quite sharp into this one, and I think we'll get it better from here. There we go. So that's much better. Look at this. There's just Ellies everywhere. This is sensational. You can't ask for anything better than this. Now, I'm not even there. I'm not at the pan, but I'm loving this, and I hope that all of you are as well. And I would love to hear from you, a one-word tweet of what you think about our Ellies drinking from our Nest Cam, and whether or not you think the Nest Cam has been a great addition to our arsenal of basically cameras that are set up all over the place. And we're trying to pretty much bring pictures from every angle over the last few months and years, and so I think we're starting to get to some really cool stuff that's really not intrusive to these animals in any way. These animals are not in any way stressed out by the fact that there's a little camera sitting there, there's no people there, and so they can really have a good time and not have to worry. Now this big female is right up near the lens. Look at that. How amazing. This is very special. Doesn't, on a hot day like this, it makes you just want to get in there with them because they look like they have the best fun. Tom, I'm not sure. I reckon I heard of 100, 150 could empty this pan. These guys are going to do a very good job of it. It's going to be interesting to see if it has dropped quite a bit in the time that they're here. But I reckon I heard of 100, 150 would empty this. We've got a herd here that's probably, I would say, between 20 and maybe 30 animals. Look at the little baby splashing itself. It's having the best time. This is absolutely special. Wow. Now I'm hoping that they're going to have a full-on bath here and that we're going to see them really playing and going crazy in the water. It is seriously cool what they're doing. Here comes the big female. She's going to go right in front of the camera. You couldn't ask for anything better. Honestly, we are being given the best show. You can see a young bull in the back there that's shaking his head. Oh, she's spraying water everywhere. Wow. Now she's going to make a complete mess of this camera. There's going to be mud all over it. Conrad is going to probably be sitting there thinking to himself, not again, because poor Conrad has to go and clean these lenses every day to make sure that they are kind of working and that we can get these amazing views. So the Ellies do make a big mess though, but look at this. So Sabrina, if another herd came along, there would be lots of talking. So you'd find the Ellies would probably communicate with each other quite a bit. There'd be a lot of kind of pushing and shoving. But if in some way they'd probably talk to one another, and once the ones have moved off, the others will get a chance. Now look at that. It's just as quickly as they came, they're now starting to leave the scene again and move off. Wasn't that just the most special thing? I just want to check one camera just to see if we've got any sign of any others still here, because it looks like there might still be one or two around. I just want to double check. No, everybody's gone, I'm afraid. So everyone has left. There's now a bit of dust bathing going on, and you can see where they're leaving. Look at the dust being thrown on the back of that one. So she made herself wet, and now she's covering herself with dust, and she'll go and rub, and she'll get rid of any parasites that she has, or she's going to just create a bit of a layer that's going to keep her a little cooler against this harsh African sun. But as they're filing off, you can see they're in single file as they go. Very cool. So James Richard, you say this is absolutely tremendous. Well, for me, it's as good as you're ever going to get for Ellies. I mean, we literally had elephants over the top of the cameras, all around them, playing, swimming. Absolutely wonderful. Right, now from an action-packed Nest Cam suite is what we're going to call it, and a waterhole that's been very busy. Let's send you back across to James, who's got, well, a cat that's not fazed by our elephants in the nest.